Hey friends! Today I'm going to be using the Elle Studio April 2020 kit and add-ons to create a new 8.5" by 11" layout. I already have my two square photos. I have my white smooth background and craft cardstock here, and the outer edges measure 8.5" by 11. I've already got that glued together. The photos are not glued down. But what I want to do is I have gone ahead and cut some of the flowers from the April 2020 digital cut files, and I've chosen two journaling cards to use on this layout. I want to do kind of a peach and yellow color scheme because my daughter has a beautiful peach colored sweater on. And I want to do some mixed media at the top of the page. I have a really cool idea for how the flowers can kind of come down from the top of the page. So I have my watercolor set out. I have my Vicki Boutin water brushes. This one I haven't used as of yet, so I'm just trying to get the water out here. Move it a little bit closer for you. And so what I'm doing is I'm mixing my yellow colors because I don't have exactly that correct shade of that pretty honey colored yellow that Elle loves to use on her monthly kits. So I'm going to be mixing the colors. See, that yellow there is quite bright, and I don't want that ultra bright yellow to go at the top of my layout. So next up I'm using this kind of buttery yellow to mix that in. That's looking a little bit closer. Then I'm going to use this kind of tan color, which might have been a bit too much. And then I'm going to use the lightest yellow to add to that too. So just continue mixing until I have the color that I want. And then I'm going to show you a really cool technique. So I'm just taping off the edges with washi tape here because I've already adhered my white cardstock to the craft cardstock. And so I want to make sure that I don't get any paint on the craft. And I've grabbed a piece of nice transparency. I'm using my yellow color here and I'm painting the transparency. Then I'm going to flip that transparency over and kiss. This is what Vicki Boutin calls it. This is a technique I learned from her. Kiss the paint onto the white cardstock surface. So I'm just going to do this again and mix up my paint again to get even more color on the top. Okay, I have a new batch of yellow here that I've mixed together and my transparency, and so I'm just going to do this again to add even more color to the top because that right side needs a bit more. I just really love this look. It makes it really soft, and it makes it a bit more, how should I say, regular than if I were to try to just paint the top of that. Sometimes I don't always do well painting with watercolors, and so I really like the look that this gives. It also gives it kind of a bit of texture too. You don't have to buy any fancy transparency for this. You could always just use the back of a stamp, which is I think what I have here, that nice thick transparency that you get at the back of a 6x8 stamp. So I'm going to go ahead and clean off my transparency, and I'm really happy with that, and we're going to add some more fun to this layout. Okay, so I've already gone ahead and added my journaling to my journaling card, and I have my photos where I want them to be placed, so I'm going to go ahead and adhere everything down. I love this Story of Today journaling tag. I love the font on that, but I just want that single phrase to be sticking out there, so I'm putting that right on the right side. And then the left photo I'm going to bump up using dimensional adhesive. Just slightly higher than the right photo. And then I'm going to put my journaling tag where those two meet. But I'm not going to adhere it just yet. I want to make sure I'm done with my bottom first. So this is the fun part. I went ahead and cut all of these flowers, but before I go ahead and adhere them, I have the Springtime tab stamp, and it has a ton of wonderful little typewritten words, and I'm going to choose 3 words. So I'm going to choose hello and spring, and I can't remember what my other word was. I'll have to have a think about it. So I'm choosing 3 words. I have 3 different blocks. That's going to make it a lot easier so that I don't have to swap out the stamps. And I have 2 different colors here. I have Canary by Close to My Heart. I'm going to start with that one. And I'm just going to stamp the word about 5 times probably around the top of my page. And this is a very subtle method because I already have all that yellow color up there. I'm stamping in yellow, so it's just you're going to be able to see like kind of like a ghost image of the words. But I really like the way that it adds that extra texture to the top of my page. Okay, next I'm using Peach from Close to My Heart. And I'm going to stamp off the edge of the page here, and that's why I've put that white piece of scrap paper on the edge so I don't go off on my craft cardstock. Isn't this so much fun? I just love doing things like this. This type of mixed media is definitely my kind of jam. It's cleaner. It's a bit easier. You kind of know what you're going to get. So if you are mixed media challenged like me, I highly recommend trying this sort of thing, doing a kissing technique, adding stamping, that sort of thing. Okay, now it's time for the flowers, which I'm really excited about. These are super, super gorgeous, and I have cut them in like a coral color and a peach color. And I want to kind of have those flowers cascading from the top. So I'm going to adhere some with liquid glue, and I'm going to bump some up using dimensional adhesive, but the ones at the top are going to have to be cut. So I'm using liquid adhesive on all of these guys, since I'm going to have to cut their edges off. Okay, now to add the rest of them, and I've grabbed dimensional adhesive. I've also grabbed this really fun confetti hole punch too, because I want to add some yellow dots in the center of some of these flowers. How fun is that? I just love the look of it. I love the flowers kind of cascading down from that brightly colored yellow section up there. I'm going to go ahead and choose a few different ones to add some dimensional dots to. These are scrapbook adhesives by Elle dots. I really love using them. They're quite thick too. They add a lot of dimension. So I'm doing them to some of the big flowers, some of the small flowers, until I get the right amount of dimension on my page. Okay, now I'm using that yellow piece of scrap paper that I had, and I'm getting some of those dots out here. I'm using the biggest ones for the biggest flowers. And this is the easiest way that I found to do this. There is a dot in the digital cut file, but I figured that it was faster for me just to use a punch, so I went with that. I really like those little bits of yellow that it adds to the layout. I think it's definitely needed to pull some of that yellow down the page. Last but not least, for my flowers, I am adding a little bit of green with these stems, and I went ahead and cut these ones out using the April 2020 digital cut file, which I love this month. So I cut those ones out. There's also some included in the die cut pack, which you'll see later. But how about we go ahead and figure out what we're going to do at the bottom of this layout. So these are the die cuts I told you about. Here are the lovely puffy stickers. So pulling these out now because I have an idea for my title. I want it to be called Sunday Smile. And so that script word smile is going to be perfect for half of my title. And I feel like I just need something to put it on. I don't want it kind of floating. So I'm grabbing these Beautiful Day die cuts, which I love. And there is a yellow label. There's lots of labels, which is awesome. And there's a yellow label in here that I want to use. It's perfectly sized for the word smile. And I'm also going to use the new alphabet stamp this month, which is my favorite typewriter alphabet stamp, to add the word Sunday using this peach close to my heart ink, or smoothie. We're going to go with smoothie because it's a little bit darker. Smoothie is like the dark coral color on my flowers. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of wing it here. I have my stamp pad underneath my layout. So I have a nice foamy surface under there, which helps it to stamp a little bit better. And since these stamps are new, I'm kind of priming them beforehand with a gum eraser. Sometimes I find it's good to do a gum eraser, ink it, wipe it off, then do that process all over again to really get it a good first stamp. I really love this alpha. It is perfectly sized for titles. It has capitals, it has lowercase, and it has punctuation. It's pretty much a perfect alpha, and I know you guys are going to love it too. I'm just making sure here that I can fit my Y in here so that it doesn't mess with the label that the word smile is on. And that worked out really, really well because then I can just tuck that word smile underneath my journaling card and it all fits together pretty perfectly. Love it. Love when that happens. So now I feel comfortable like actually adhering some things on the bottom. I do need to add my date to that journaling card too. But I also want to add some more flowers down here at the bottom as well. Okay, I've added my date with a mini dated extra stamp. I'm kind of planning where I want these little flowers. That is the die cut flower, that little yellow one, which is really super cute. It brings some more of the yellow from the top of the page down to the bottom. And then I have the puffy sticker yellow flowers, the little posies from there. The Beautiful Day die cuts I'm just going to pull out here to see what I can use. If there's anything else that I need to pull out here. Also love these spring wood veneers, so I'm going to open this pack because I think these would be perfect on here. So the wood veneer right above my photo works really perfectly. It says Sunshine and Smiles, which I just love. This layout is a little sunshiny, and to add even more sunshine, we're going to do that kissing technique here at the bottom. It would have been more ideal for me to do it before everything was adhered down, but it's going to be fine. We're just going to do it in a much smaller way, and I'm going to add some of that washi tape back to that corner so that I don't get it on my craft. Just going to use all the paint that I just mixed up here just to add a little bit of yellow down there. It's a subtle amount, but you're going to notice it and you're going to see that little pop of yellow down there. And then I'm going to grab my stamps again and add a few of those same words just right on top of the watercolor, just like I did before. Okay, so taking off my washi, I'm grabbing my stamps and we're going to go ahead and do this over again, just adding a few words down here at the bottom. And then I've grabbed this week chipboard sticker, and it says the best part of today, which is when my daughter got to pet the donkey on Palm Sunday, which is her favorite part of Palm Sunday. Kind of sad that we didn't have that this year, but it is what it is. And just adding a few more flowers with those yellow centers here. Just make that pop a little bit more. And I really, really love this page. It makes me super duper happy. I'm going to add, no, I was going to add the little hello there. Seeing if there's anything else here that I should add. A heart is always a good idea, right? There we go. So I am so excited about the way this turned out. If you guys are afraid of mixed media, definitely try this kissing technique. It looks so cool. Look how interesting that makes the page at the top. And I just love those posies coming down from the top to the bottom of the layout. The digital cut file this month couldn't have been more perfect for making this page. And then let's just talk about that typewriter alpha stamp. Isn't it awesome? And I love the way I mixed it with the puffy stickers to create my title. So all in all, this was such a fun page to make, and it really records a beautiful Palm Sunday moment that I shared with my daughter. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you'll check out all of the products I used in this video in my video notes. Get them while supplies last because they're sure to be popular. Thanks so much for watching, and happy creating.